time with me, Rob Bonnet. We're in New York talking to Monica Seles, the 9-time winner of Grand Slam tournaments, the last of which came at the Australian Open. But there is an issue here, isn't there? There is the memory in 1993 of this incident in Hamburg. And the Monica Seles story wouldn't be complete without you telling us now, I suppose 12 years on, what your memory of that is and how you feel you've been affected by it since.
Well, I mean, it's very bad timing-wise, if there's ever a timing for a thing like that to happen, just because I was playing so well and really dominating the sport.
Yes. And
it has never happened in a sport before, never has happened since.
You're playing Magdalena Maleva, weren't you, in Hamburg?
In the
and a spectator came out of the crowd quite unexpectedly and stabbed you in the back, basically.
Yes, while I was sitting on a changeover. So I mean, it's one of the things that I don't fondly look back upon, to say the least, but it definitely went through a very difficult period after that. But I'm very happy that in 1995 I did decide to come back and just kind of resume what I love to do.
Yes, you took 27 months out of the game,
yeah,
didn't you?
2.5 years, somewhere there, whatever it was, because it happened in April and I came back, I think, in July of 95.
Is it something that you do remember every day, every week? Is it something that you go back over?
Oh, not at all. No, not at all.
But there was a time when you did.
Yeah, there was a time. I mean, there were a lot of issues there going on in all areas of it. So, but, you know, I decided I really wanted to play tennis again, and this is something I love to do, and, you know, why not? I mean, I really believe that in your heart, if you really feel strongly about something, you just got to go ahead and do it. Yes,
that demanded a lot of resolve from you, I suppose, because there must have been at the back of your mind the thought that this could happen again, specifically because the man who did this was never put in prison, was he? He got a suspended prison sentence.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of unusual circumstances to what happened to me at that time, for whatever reasons there are. And, you know, I had a choice of moving on, feeling, or not moving on, feeling bitter about it or whatever, and I just decided to take the road of moving on.
Well, was that why you refused to testify against him at the trial?
Oh, I just didn't, not refuse to testify. I pretty much said that the facts, everything is on camera. It's a very straightforward case. A gentleman comes from the behind, stabs me, a 19-year-old girl sitting during a tennis match, and it's all on video. I mean, there's no arguments, and he admits it. I think that's as simple of a case that it gets from that point of view.
Maybe in the courtroom, though, if you'd spoken more about it, maybe he would have been put away, which is in a sense what you would have wanted, wouldn't it? For your own peace of mind, if nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of ifs, and there were a lot of other evidence that never came out. So,
oh, really?
But you know, there are a lot of ifs in that situation. But I decided to move on, and the choice that I made, and I'm very happy about it.
Was it a question at the time of physical or mental damage, do you think?
I think it was a question of both. I think the first 6 months, definitely a physical damage, because I couldn't serve the way, because it was right by my shoulder blade that he went in about 3 centimeters. So the wound was pretty deep inside. And then after that, I think it was just definitely the psychological of someone doing this to you, not being punished, kind of type of an issue, I guess. And so it was a mixture. And you know, you got to imagine I'm a 19-year-old girl going through this. I mean, you know, there's nothing to kind of ask anyone for advice or go back to what should I do now? The day before you're worried about getting ready for the French Open, and that's what was in your mind, and now you're getting ready that someone wanted to take your career away or trying to kill you. So they're one extreme to the other, and you realize that, wow, the sport can be taken away in 1 minute of your life. Everything can change. So there was a lot of differences as what was going on in my mind at that stage.
I mean, Martina Navratilova, your good friend, she said that it changed the course of tennis history, in the sense that up to that point you'd won 8 Grand Slams, there was 1 more to come, but maybe there'd have been another 8, or maybe more.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the maybes are,
of course, in
that story, there are a lot of maybes, I tell you that if you look at it. But, you know, I think people focus too much on one area of what happened to me. But, you know, a lot of maybes.
Well, you did come back and you won the Australian Open in 1996, and then that kind of success wasn't possible anymore. What was it that had changed? I mean, was it still the long-term effect of the incident in Hamburg, or was it the natural decline, if you like, of a tennis player who's had her day?
Yeah, I don't think, I don't even know myself. I think it's a combination of both. I definitely believe tennis, you're definitely better in the early stages of your career. And we see that now from the 16 to 22, 23s. It definitely rewards youth. In my case, it just was a very difficult period because right after I came back, my father was diagnosed, and there was a long period of time there that was a lot of knowing what's going to happen inevitably.
Yes, your father died in 1998, didn't he? And by that time, you know, you were in what, your mid-20s.
I was 24.
You'd lived an extremely full life, hadn't you? It's an awful lot to cram into 24 years at the time. Now we are in
32.
Yes, 32, but still a young woman with a life ahead of her.
Yeah, I mean, it was not easy, definitely. That's one of the very toughest times. There are a lot of things going on in my life that, looking back, was very tough. But very proud of myself, which is very hard for me to say, that at least I stayed sane through different stages there.
Well, the 21st century, I'm sure, is going to be kinder to you. What projects do you have on the go at the moment?
Well, I've just been named to the Laureate Sports Academy member, so I'm very excited about that, and I've gotten a chance to do my first site visit with them in the Bronx with Edwin Moses, who is our chairman, and gotten to see some amazing work what these kids have done who come from underprivileged backgrounds and have really no support system besides this program, and how big of a changes it has made in their lives.
What's the tennis player doing getting involved in jiu-jitsu there?
Well, it was my first time witnessing this form of martial arts, and I was very impressed, and just impressed how much strength and it has given the girls, and also self-discipline in the chaos of a life that they lead.
And what do you get out of it?
I just get out. To me, it's just amazing to give back something, and I'm very honored to be a member of the Laureate Sports Foundation, because they go around the world, and I'm very much looking forward to traveling with them and bringing my sport, which is tennis, to kids and introducing it to them, because I think all it takes is one child to do well, let's say in my case, do well in tennis, and it brings so many other kids into that sport and betters their lives. And not everybody is going to be a professional, but it just teaches you, I think, invaluable discipline, life skills that you can use in your day-to-day life and school.
Well, now your sport, as you say, is tennis. You're still playing, you're still practicing. You had a couple of exhibition matches early in 2005 in New Zealand. One of them, I think, was against Martina Navratilova, wasn't it?
Yes, correct.
You lost.
Yes.
What is your tennis future? Because the comebacks are in the air at the moment. Martina Hingis, for example. Is there going to be a comeback from Monica Seles?
Well, at this stage in my career, I have no idea. I mean, I've tried for the past 2 years very hard, and my body just seems to not be on the same wavelength as my brain. But I still would not like to give up. I still train quite a lot, as much as I'm allowed, but I'm also knowing that the reality of it. Well, my body. I mean, if it would be up to me, I'd be out there 6-7 hours a day. Mm-hmm. But sadly, it's not. I can't do what I used to do in the old days, because I might be able to do it for 2-3 days or maybe a week, but then I have to take 2 weeks off, and then just comes and goes. But I also have to face reality about I'm at the very, very end stage of my career, or maybe already reached the end stage.
Mm. It is unrealistic, isn't it, to think of a 10th Grand Slam. So you're hinting there that you're about to announce a retirement, effectively. I mean, is that what we're saying now? Or
oh, no, I don't know, not yet.
Well, you said maybe the very end stage.
I know that. I mean, this past 2 years that I haven't played, I definitely realized that you sometimes want to play in your mind, but your body's just not there. And also to come back at a level that's not, I mean, I never was out of the top 10 in my entire career, whatever, yes. Top 6. To come back and just play for sake of playing.
You don't want to be the world's number 200, do you?
I could not do that, so I couldn't.
No.
So that's my own ego involved there.
What does the future hold, do you think? If it's not to be an elongated career, yeah. What will you end up doing?
I very much hope to work with kids in sports. That's one of the areas that I'm trying to do now.
As a teacher, as a coach?
Not through tennis, just in general. I really think if you have a healthy body, you have a healthy mind. I think sports are a very important part of a child's development in any sport that he or she likes. So that's kind of the area that I would like to be involved in.
Well, Monica Seles, thank you very much for joining us on this edition of Extra Time.
My pleasure.